is the Glass Cannon Network.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Voyagers of the Jump. So, ever since we talked about how jumps work last week in the Traveler Universe, I've kind of been thinking about, what if I lived and worked on a ship that was jumping from world to world, and I had this whole week that was just totally and utterly cut off from the known universe. And what would I do with that time? So I was just wondering, what do you all think you would do if you were if you were jumped in this pocket universe where you literally had no way of contacting any other bit of the entire known universe? What would you do? Huh.
I think it'd be a lot like quarantine.
I was about to say, didn't we do this?
We kind of just went through this
way longer. But
really
I guess you're
sensitive,
right.
Matthew. Really very sensitive.
I know.
We
Bring this up.
can't talk to anybody. We can't talk to anybody though. That's the difference. You're completely isolated.
Yeah, I mean, you can talk to people on your ship.
Well, the ship's computer is said to have basically unlimited storage. So it would have the entirety of the internet on it. So it would probably be a lot of just binging. I think your crew would be walking around. No one would wear pants. Just everybody just in their rooms or whatever, binging whatever, emerge. It'd kind of scuttle to the galley to grab some chips and then kind of scuttle back. I am pretty sure it would just be the ship of slobs.
Yeah. I think it would be like the reality show Below Decks, I think. There'd just be all kinds of
exactly like that.
It'd be just like that. There'd be all kinds of fights and weird sex triangles and stuff over. It'd be jump rules. What happens in the jump stays in the jump, I think.
There you go.
What happens in the jump
There you go. That's our new
that's what would happen
for this campaign.
Voyagers of the Jump. What happens in the jump stays in the jump.
That's a t-shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Jump Island.
Meanwhile, Puffer's just kind of wandering past in his boxers to get some chips.
That's the jump rules. Jump rules,
totally
man.
Unaware.
Jump rules.
I didn't even think about other crew members. I was thinking of that really bad movie with Chris Pratt and is it Jennifer Lawrence?
Which one?
I didn't see it, but
Passengers.
yeah.
Passengers. Right. And basically they are the only two who wake up and they have so much time together, but they're going to die because they woke up accidentally from their cryo sleep before they reach their new planet. So at first it's let's just have fun. But then it becomes very what the fuck are we doing? This is this endless amount of time. Yeah, and then it turns into a weird movie where the ship is actually bad and it did it on purpose or something. It was weird. It just gets a little weird. But it's different if there's other crew members. If I was alone, that's one thing. If there's other crew members, because originally I was I'm going to get really buff. I'm going to be
like going to prison.
Yeah. I'm going to be swimming in the pool that the spaceship has. Yeah, I'm going to be doing pole dancing classes that I was never able to do. But if there's people around, I think that's different.
Sydney. I'm Artemis has a pole set up in a
yes, in her in the galley. She doesn't have her own room in the bunk area, and she's all right, move the beds. I got to do my routines.
It must be really weird too. It's you're all right, I'll see, have fun on your space adventure. See you at Christmas, and then they come back and people have just gone utterly solitary and have done they're expert pole dancers and have gotten really buff. But it's what happened to you? And you're I just was in the jump space for a while.
Space changed me.
It's been a while.
That's what they say.
Wouldn't have any problem. What?
Well, I was saying, first day in the jump, you have to beat up the toughest guy in the
Yeah, right.
That's the rules. Otherwise,
that's true.
That's the only way to survive the jump.
That is definitely not me.
I don't think I'd have any problem. If I was alone, if there's a holodeck. If there's a holodeck, there's no problem.
No. If you have a holodeck, yeah.
It's holodeck, yeah.
Please, until it tries to kill you. Remember, Every episode, it tries to kill them.
That's right. The most dangerous device on the ship.
It's essentially
Holodeck.
the danger room of the Star Trek universe.
It is.
Oh, it's like the ship's version of Saw. I'm like, oh, you want to play a game?
It is.
Well, I mean, you might turn out like Barclay and end up having a holodeck addiction.
Right. I certainly would. I think almost everyone would.
Yeah, of course you would.
Probably.
Yeah.
I was thinking I'd probably have the best of intentions, and I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna read this entire list of books and watch all of these movies, and then inevitably I'd probably be like, just when are we gonna get there? And kind of like during quarantine, actually. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it would be. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things talked about, because you can turn gravity off in like specific portions. So there's like weird types of racquetball, like zero gravity racquetball. And then like ships that have like one hallway, it goes down the whole thing. They will have a dartboard on one end, and they will play like darts across the length of the ship in zero gravity.
Amazing.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, it's just that weird crap you do when you're bored.
Yeah. Inertial darts.
I was having a conversation with somebody, with a group of people recently, and I won't go into the details, but basically I was like, none of you have had a shit job recently where you were literally do anything to pass the time, have you? And it was just, I was just like, oh God, don't you remember like back when you had that job in high school and it was just whatever you could do to get through the next hour was a gift.
Oh, yeah. You mean 5 years ago? Yes. Yeah, I remember quite well what that was like.
The crappiest job.
But I would probably, if it was me, I would probably just watch a bunch of like Rick Steves travel videos. And that's all I would do for a week. I just watch Rick Steves.
And just dream of the places you could jump to.
Yeah. And then, although if there was a holodeck, what I would do, because what I often do to pass the time in my own brain is I'll say like, okay, what if the Mets had Rogers Hornsby and
fantasy baseball,
Christy Mathewson, so I have this thing. So I would have the holodeck, like I would bring back like Forbes Field or something. I'd have a holographic replica of Forbes Field, and I would field my team and I would watch them play a simulated season in the National League in 2022. And I just sit in the stands and like watch. I could pass years that way.
Kind of sweet.
Yeah.
When I run, if I have like a long stretch of like where I don't have to turn or anything, and it just gets really boring, and I want to just occupy my brain, I try to think of like the longest song I can think of and try to work my way through the lyrics. Not like something I know really well, but something I'm like or like inevitably though, my mind is always like I always just go to Frankenstein, which has no words.
No words.
I'm just trying to remember the riffs in order.
Wait, what's Frankenstein?
Frankenstein.
Yeah, wait, sing it.
Edgar Winter. How does Frankenstein go? It's like
right now. Yeah.
You said Frankenstein, and I thought of the Monster Mash, which would also be a good song to sing.
The Monster Mash also a great song to remember. Like, do I know all the words to the Monster Mash?
You don't.
I should.
There's no way.
Inevitably, I get to the part with Dracula like way too many verses early. Anyway, well, if it's just like if you had been voyaging through the jump space, enjoying, say, high passage on a vessel traveling across the sector, for example, in the Spinward Marches, maybe, and the jump bubble has just closed and it's been exactly 1 week since last episode, so why don't we catch up? See that segue?
Oh, yeah.
That was
It's my favorite segue.
It's a really good segue. You're getting so good at these.
yeah.
It's almost as if I should be working on these more. Anyway, last episode we met
I
the
will
crew.
often like think of them ahead of time. I'll like think of like, well, what should I say in this moment? But that's just my technique. I don't know. You can do whatever you want.
I literally wrote one
like in
down.
about 7 hours. Like, oh, that would have been great.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I literally wrote one down, and as I looked at it, I was like, I don't want to say that.
Good. Call an audible. That's good.
I called an audible. Didn't
Pro
work.
move.
when we met this merry band of adventurers, we'd established them as the crew of the far trader Kate's Gambit in action. Wait a minute. Actually, I have a question. Is it?
Yes.
Should I refer to it as Kate's Gambit or the Kate's Gambit?
Ooh.
Kate's Gambit, right? 2 words?
We're not the Flaming Lips. It's Kate's Gambit, right?
Sounds like
we're Arctic monkeys. It's Kate's Gambit.
So you're like, I'm on board Kate's Gambit, not I'm on board the Kate's Gambit.
Yeah.
But wasn't like the K like scuffed off almost, so it just looks like Eight's Gambit or something?
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's perfect. Somebody was trolling and they did it.
Oh no, the K is silent.
Skid, do you like the royal the before?
I got to say, I like the because I like the short, the Kate. I like remember the Kate. I like that.
The Kates.
Yeah.
Or the Gambit.
Or the Gambit, but I think there might be a rift in the crew. We may not agree.
I think perhaps the formal name of the ship in the books is the Kate's Gambit, and some of us refer to it as Kate's Gambit because we like the shorthand. But I think if we were to sell the ship, we would be like, it's the Kate's Gambit.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to be fancy with it?
Yeah.
We're trying to be fancy.
Okay.
And were you really trying to get her to work? And you're like, come on, Katie, come on. Stay together.
Come on, Katie, old girl. Hey, stay together.
Hear me, Katie? Don't fail me now. Well, we met the crew of the Kate's Gambit in action. Mm-hmm. So there was the pilot, disgraced former ensign Philo Speaker, played by Skidmar. The steward and former cult leader / rock band groupie looking for her lost sister, Georgina Gigi Kershaw, played by Alicia Marie.
Thank you.
We don't.
The engineer, disgraced, also a former disgraced ensign, Wes Puffer DeMar, played by Seth Skorkowsky. And, of course, the astrogator, Artemis Piper, who, despite all of the best schooling, still ended up living a life of crime, played by the one and only Sidney Amanuel. So, together, this crew's been working off their debts by doing odd jobs from a mysterious figure they know only as Ames. And they were in the middle of a no-questions-asked delivery on the world of Gardavilis in the Spinward Marches. But unfortunately, after delivering the coordinates to their contact and receiving a mysterious payment, air quotes, of data cores, it seems as if various factions on the world had discovered what they were up to, and they were forced to make a hasty exit. And it looked like they were about to get away and outrun their pursuers and jump, but then all of a sudden those ships broke off, and an entire Imperial Navy battle squadron appeared on the LiDAR, just broadcasting. A Batron, if you will. Broadcasting on all frequencies. Far trader, power down your jump drive and prepare to be boarded. So what do you do?
We don't have a captain, though, to really do it.
Artemis slaps Puffer's hand, who actively looks like he's going to press the transmitter. Don't talk to them!
Well, what are we supposed to do?
Don't stop pressing the button! We're jumping.
I didn't press it.
Hit the gas.
Far trader, power down your jump drive or you will be fired upon.
We're jumping.
I don't want to be a contrarian, but I think if we try to jump, we're a bit overmatched. And
you think that I can't jump in time? Is that what you're saying?
No. It's not impugning your abilities at all.
I don't want to go back to jail. Anyone else? Jump?
Yeah.
Jump.
I mean, Puffer didn't like
jump.
it, but
all right, here's our two options. Real quick. Here's our two options. They fire at us, we die. They board us, we die. You want to jump or what?
I don't think... Listen, this is the Imperial Navy. I may still have some sway.
I think I have more sway than you.
You're just in jail.
At that moment, a laser bolt flies basically directly in front of your windshield. Your window. The wipers.
I turn the wipers on to get at the...
They put a shot across your bow. Far trader, power down your jump drive immediately.
All right, look, I'm powering down. They're going to start firing on us.
All right, should I hail them?
Yeah, find out what they want,
right.
please. Thank you, Gigi.
This is the Kate's Gambit answering. What's your problem?
Please power down all systems and prepare to be boarded.
What did I tell you? What did I fucking tell you?
Right.
Fine. Hey, we got nothing to hide. We didn't do anything. We got nothing to hide.
What is on those data core? Do we know what's on those data core?
Oh, I would like to download everything on those data cores.
Not into the ship. Not into
Put
the
them
ship.
in my armor.
Okay.
I have a computer built into my armor.
Love
I would like
that.
to download all of it.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
find a place to stash those.
Okay. Right.
Like-
Right.
Like
All right,
inside
so
an engine
Put them in
panel. I don't know.
the car. Put them in the four-wheel drive thing.
The
Put them in
thing
like the
Stolen
car.
car.
in the-
But they don't send
glove
like a
box.
battle fleet after
Stolen car.
a Chevy.
Yeah, I don't think it's like we heard you stole this guy's car.
Do you think it's about the ATV? Do you
I
think
don't
they're
know. We
mad?
don't know. Right now, we don't know.
It's as if like your car, you steal someone's Chevy, and then they send the Marines after.
Yeah,
you.
A SWAT team crushes the car with a tank.
I mean, it's probably got like a primer colored door. I mean, I don't have good views of what this must look like. So, but,
All right.
yes, Matthew, I would like to start downloading
Roll
the hard
me,
drives.
roll me a computers check. A computers.
Is there a way to assist anybody if I don't have the skill set? Like, is there like a luck or something, or
A look or luck?
a luck, like a up and down roll to assist?
Do you have
look,
leadership?
What about
Oh.
Jack of all?
Oh, jack of all trades.
Well, you could, that would allow you to roll the check. So if you wanted to go meet Puffer in the engine room and work with him to like help him download, I'd allow that. We could do a task chain.
Yeah, I think I would do that. I would help Buffer.
Okay. So then, if you're going to assist, why don't you give me the computers check first? So, and we'll let that modify Seth's roll.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
And then I'm going to have you. By the way, I'm going to have you roll for how long this takes.
Oh, with a D6 or
Yeah, there's a table for that.
so that's a 7.
Is it?
Okay, I was gonna say you're just downloading some files. I don't think they're encrypted. It's an easy task. So you download it a 7, so it's a margin of 3. So that gives you, I believe that gives you a +2 to your current check, Seth.
Okay. So I would have already had an 11, so 13.
Nice.
All right. So wow. So you succeed quite well. The effect of that is you're able to download it. So what I'll do
Got this little
is-
line going, I plug it in. Next.
I'm handing them off.
So let's roll for that. Give me because you succeeded so well. I'm going to say you're going to roll 1d, and it's going to take that many minutes to do this.
Okay.
-2. So that's the effect of your exceptional roll.
I rolled a 1.
Okay. Wow. Okay. You managed to you managed to basically do it in let's just say a minute with with Artemis's help. You're able to very quickly download everything.
That's so cool. Just passing them back and forth and like jacking them into his armor and just
And
doing
then
it record
as we're
speed.
doing that, we're also just like hiding them. We're just hiding like each one. We mark them to hide.
Great.
Which
so now
might
roll
be
me
a stealth.
stealth roll. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
Okay.
each you want a task chain, or you want to do this separately?
I'm good at stealth, but I'm sure you are too, Seth.
I think you were actually a little better. See, I have a stealth of 1, trying to figure out which stat it would be. Either education or intellect. If we're doing it in the engine room, I'm pretty sure I know my way around. So I'd have a +2.
Yeah, I
Do
do.
you want me to assist you?
Yeah.
Education sounds good.
Okay.
So yeah. So Seth, give me the roll first.
Let's see. 8 + 2, 10.
Okay, because this is an old ship. I was going to say this is a difficult roll, so you got it. Old ship, lots of hiding places, but like everyone knows what a far trader is, right? So there's not a lot of mystery there.
Mm-hmm.
So you get no bonus. You get it's a +0 to your roll, Cindy.
That is a 10.
I keep pointing at spots, and she's like, "Duh." No, you see it's like, "Duh."
Yeah, she's a thief, and she's like, that's the first place I would look. Seriously?
All right, so maybe you succeed. So maybe what you do is you go down to maybe one of you has converted one of the staterooms into just like an IT closet, And you've got a bunch of hard drives there anyway.
I tuck
and
them
you just
in.
kind of just like toss them onto the table with the others and mix them up a bit.
I love
Nice.
that. I love
Yeah.
that.
Hide them in plain sight. Okay,
It's like a super hot room with like a stripped down bed, just piles of computer racks on it.
it's like old equipment.
Awesome. That's awesome.
All right, so then as Artemis and Puffer work on that, what do you, Gigi and Philo, what are you guys doing? Powering down the ship and
Yeah.
anything you want to do before you're boarded?
No, I just want to make sure that they know we are definitely, this is Ensign Gigi Kershawn. We are not a threat to your naval fleet at all, and we are willing to comply at this time.
I know
Very well.
They know we're not a threat.
Yeah. I'm sure they're well aware.
I want to kind of like set up an analogy for what this is. So basically, you guys are basically, let's say, in a Winnebago, and they sent an aircraft carrier group to intercept you. Like there's
Seems a little unnecessary, but okay.
yeah, they
It's
took
okay. We can just
literally-
drive inland and we'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, then they just scramble fighters.
Oh.
Okay. So they tell you to power down your engines and shut down all non-essential systems.
Yeah.
And is there anything you want to do in the, like, you have probably about 5 minutes on the ship before you're boarded by the Imperial Navy?
Philo is going to button up. He's going to put on his vac suit just in case. And while he's like shutting down systems one by one, like with one hand, he's like putting his vac suit on, and with the other, he's like switching down systems.
Great.
Okay.
Artemis is going to crack a cold Coke of Cola, which is the classic soda pop drink of space. And yes, you're right, Skid. It's a Diet Coke of Cola.
Right.
And she's going to sit
So
with her
formal.
feet.
There's no need to be so formal.
She's sitting with her feet up, sipping it, looking very casual, just like sipping the soda, waiting for them to walk in.
Okay.
Gigi?
Can Gigi, so how far away is that ATV we stole? Is it right close by?
It's in the cargo bay, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So Gigi's just looking for any
tarp
like
over it.
recognizable papers that it belongs to someone else, like to rip them up so that
Scratch the VIN
they know
number.
Yeah.
it belongs to someone else.
Okay.
This is our SUV.
The least amount of crimes, the better.
Yes.
I mean, I'm trying to figure out what that would be. Deception? Deception is more like like when you're just talking to somebody, right? So
Isn't stealth? I
guess
thought
you
there
could-
was like a stealth was like specifically called out as like forgery or something. Maybe I'm wrong.
Or okay.
That might be Streetwise.
Streetwise, yeah.
let's do
Ooh, Streetwise is great. Okay.
Yeah.
You
I'll
know
go
where to find
Streetwise
the
then.
VIN
This-
number.
Right.
This ain't her
Seven.
first hot car.
7. Bad, right? Oh, that's not an 8.
Yeah, I was actually that's going to be a fail.
that is
I was
a
saying I was going to make it an
Right.
average check. Okay, so you scramble in, but you can't get the computer turned. The car's computer turned on. So okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Puffer's got the keys and he's in the other room.
All right.
Where are the keys?
Philo, you
Yes.
power down the ship. You shut down the engines. You shut down the jump drive already been shut down. You shut down all non-essential systems, including the lights. So you're just sitting there, floating out in open space, and the only light besides the emergency running lights is coming from the sector's star. And then this huge shadow just falls across the bridge, and then the gunmetal gray underbelly of an Imperial heavy cruiser just slowly creeps overhead, blocking out all the light from the star. And then the cruiser extends an airlock tube, and it makes contact with the side of the Kate's Gambit, and it's like, and it ratchets onto your ship, and then with a big hiss, it depressures the corridor. Are you all? Where are you all now? Are you waiting
On the
by the
break.
airlock? Or
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have the deck plan?
for the
Oh,
far
yeah.
trader?
Where was it? Yeah. just for reference. Did we have that
Yes.
before?
I can put that up for you. Give me a minute. I'll throw it up there.
Okay.
And this is the bar trader that's just the souped up free trader, or is it
Yeah.
the Millennium Falcon looking one? Okay.
No, it's the souped up free trader. Yeah. Okay. I can drop one. I'll
Drop
put it
it.
up for you.
Skid, I sent it in
there-
the chat.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Okay. Yeah.
You can grab it.
Thank you, Sid. So are you? Where are you? Where do you think you all are?
Probably by the airlock.
Yeah.
Is the bridge by the airlock, or is it like completely separate?
Yeah. So if you look at the deck plan here, 1 is the bridge, and then 3 is the airlock. So on the cargo bay deck, the main deck, there's this kind of the side corridor on the starboard side. That's the airlock.
I sent you guys an unhelpful document that doesn't have the layout of
It's like, what?
Okay.
Sorry, Matthew.
I will drop.
Thanks.
Okay.
Sorry, I was trying to help.
I really appreciate the effort.
You have the armor that it has. Thanks, Matthew.
You're welcome.
Oh, there we go.
Okay. There we go.
Great.
Okay.
There we go.
So now that we're all looking at it, you see number 1 is the bridge, number 3 is the airlock.
Oops.
Got it.
Okay, so and then I guess we're hanging out in the common area, just kind of waiting.
Yeah, waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay. You hear the hiss of the depressurization, and then whoosh, the airlock opens, and you are looking directly into the nozzles of a dozen plasma rifles, gripped by fully armored Imperial Marines. And like the flashlights affixed to their barrels are kind of crisscrossing into the common area, and they're like, hands.
Heads up.
Think you brought enough guys?
Yeah.
How far?
Yeah, you see what ship we have, right? Like,
Yeah, this does seems strangely
Excessive.
Even for those of you who don't have naval tactics as a skill, this seems ridiculously excessive.
Yeah. Is it a crime to fly your own plane in space?
They totally ignore you. They're like humorous, like palace guards, and the back group kind of surges forward, and the front group kind of keeps their weapons trained on you. And they grab each of you and cuff you, and rather roughly, and then they just push you and shove you off the Gambit and down a dark corridor of the cruiser. And they're just kind of like hustling you down and not speaking to you at all. Rough housing.
Watch it, buddy. Watch it.
Shut up! And then eventually you reach a 4-way junction, and the Marines kind of roughly pull you apart from each other and drag you off in entirely separate directions.
Oh wait, no, my friends, my attorney. You can't separate me from my attorney.
who's your attorney?
One of them, and you don't know which one. So to be safe, you just got to keep us all together, don't you?
I have Advocate 1. It's actually probably me.
There you go. Yes, Puffer, the man there, the human man. He's Puffer. Help! What do I do?
And Puffer's essentially gotten his law degree in prison, basically.
Prison lawyer.
Artemis looks at Philo as she's being dragged away, and behind her back, she looks at him. She goes, "I told you so."
All right.
Everyone, stay calm.
Sometime later, Artemis, you find yourself sitting in a small, dark, windowless room, and your hands and feet are chained to the table you're sitting at. And you've been waiting here alone for, what feels like hours. You don't even know because you have no idea how to check, but it just has been a very, very long time. So what are you thinking right now? Like, what's going through your head?
I think Artemis is only concerned about the job because her mentality is like, so what? I go to jail. She's 42. Like, she's lived a life and has been through some shit, and she's like, what's the worst that could happen? I die? You know, like, what are they gonna do? Kill me? So that would be great. She's got a lot of debt. She's got a lot of shit she's got to do. But I think she's mostly worried about the job because the magnate, whoever they work for, she's more worried about the repercussions of not delivering this product. And she knows how deals work. And she's been screwed before. So I think she's like, the Navy has some other mission and we're like a pawn in some game. But the real problem is if we don't deliver that, whatever information Puffer got off the drives. She's also worried about her crew members, but she said jump, and they didn't jump, so.
Okay. Well, after some time, the bulkhead door suddenly swings open and a Marine steps through, and following her is a naval officer, and then this middle-aged woman in civilian dress. And the officer's probably about 30, very clean cut, standard military. And the woman is almost kind of studiously unremarkable, right? Like she looks like she's like kind of cultivated this sense of total averageness. And if it weren't for the situation, like if you saw her on the street, you probably would forget her instantly. And then the woman takes a seat in the corner of the room, kind of half in the shadows, and the officer sits down across from you, nods to the Marine, who steps out of the room and seals the bulkhead door behind him. And the officer looks you up and down, then glances at a data pad in his hand. And he says, Piper, Artemis, UPP 9675C5. How's your back, Miss Piper?
Oh,
Hurts every day. What is this? Training for the academy? She nods to the woman in the corner.
He does, and the officer doesn't even acknowledge that you've mentioned her. Like for him, it doesn't it look like she even exists. That scar looks pretty nasty. How'd that happen?
It was after the academy, which I was once in, which I'm sure you can see on your little data pad. What do you really want to know? Because you know everything about me already.
I suppose we can start with, what were you doing on Garda Villas?
I was meeting up with my crew. We, well, you saw our ship. Far Trader, yeah. It's a piece of junk. And we were getting ready to leave to go have some standard repairs done. Had to jump to do it. We need a lot of parts. And it was a pretty average day. Hot out. Hot out, though.
Who did you speak to while on world?
Oh, God. Let's see. I have so many friends here. Nobody. I didn't talk to anybody. I wasn't here to do anything. I was here to pick up parts. We were getting funds for the repairs, and we were going to make the repairs off planet. What is this about? This isn't about me.
The entry paperwork you filed says you were here for a survey mission. What were you surveying?
Parts.
Parts.
Yeah, you know, carburetors, accelerators, new fabric for the chairs. Did you see them in there? They're disgusting.
So you filed a report saying you were landing on planet for a survey mission, and really you were just sourcing replacement parts for your ship?
You know how hard it is to get in and out of ports when you're not top tier. All right, so we said we were surveying. This isn't breaking the law, okay? So we filed the wrong paperwork. That it?
He notes something on his data pad. He leans back in his chair a little bit. Are you or have you ever been a member of the Ine Gavar?
The Ine Gavar? Are you kidding? Is that a joke?
Can I note that your answer is in the negative?
Yes, it's in the negative.
Have you or have you ever been a member of the Tanus Freedom League?
No.
Well, then perhaps you can explain what you were doing in the Devoyne Forest yesterday morning.
Oh. Well, I was actually surveying. That's not a lie.
So the survey was not the survey paperwork was actually not.
Cut me some slack. I was taking a walk.
A walk.
Yeah, my home planet's a dust bowl. I don't get to see forest often, and I'm mostly on the ship. I'm an astrogator. All I do is fly. So yeah, I was taking a walk. Truly, taking a walk.
Let's not play games here, Miss Piper.
I go by Artemis. You might want to put that in your notes.
He makes a note.
Thank you.
Are you aware that unreported arms sales on an Imperial world is a felony? In some cases, that could be considered treason.
I'm very aware. Yeah, that's a big one. And she looks at the woman in the corner to see if there's any reactions going on.
Total blank face.
What's your name?
Don't worry about her. I would worry about yourself in this situation. You're in quite a bit of trouble. You had such promise as a young person. What happened?
Did you just call me old?
I did nothing of the sort.
How old are you? I could kick your ass. If we were in the academy together, I would... What happened to me? Life shit on me. I got nothing against you, okay? But my shit got screwed up. You have that stuff about my back? Yeah, I got fucked, okay? And ever since my injury, I haven't been able to work. Life hasn't been the same. So I do odd jobs, I fly around, and that makes me a wanderer, a drifter, and AKA to you, a criminal. That's unfair.
He kind of nods slowly. Do you still have contact with Professor Nova?
I don't have to answer that. That's personal.
Is she involved in your current lifestyle?
My current lifestyle? You can't go and talk to her. You can't call her. You can't.
Miss Piper, are you currently under the influence of any prohibited substances?
No. No, I'm clean. I'm clean.
You're in a lot of trouble, Miss Piper. Perhaps if you could tell us the truth of what was going on in Gardavillas, we can help you.
Why don't you tell me what you know? What are you trying to get out of me? Maybe I can help you. Ever think of that?
And he stares back at you. And from there, sometime later, Puffer, you find yourself in a very similar small room, chained to a very similar table. What are you thinking right now?
Puffer, this was pretty much his day after graduation.
No. Flashbacks.
So he is currently trying to remember everything from his advocate training.
Well, as you try to think back to all of the law books you studied while in the joint, eventually the door swings open. The same officer, though of course you don't know that, and the same woman in civilian dress sit down, or she sits in the corner. The officer sits across from you. You recognize that the officer is a lieutenant commander. You're able to read his insignia. He glances at his data pad. Damar Wes, aka Puffer. UPP 689 BA6. Puffer. Why Puffer?
It's the fish. It's really fascinating, really. Its bones kind of work together in an interlocking system. And when threatened, it will suck in water and will inflate itself. That way predators can't eat it. It's also extremely poisonous, but they make beautiful art on the bottom of the seafloor. Fascinating creatures. It really became my nickname back when I was at the academy, but I think a lot of people always confused it, like, maybe I was like smoking, or because I'm chained down to the thing. But but really, I came from a high oxygen environment, so we actually didn't do any of that stuff. So I had no idea what they were talking about. So I went along with it, and the name just kind of stuck after that. But really, it's a fascinating fish, is what I'm named after.
Fascinating indeed. We've scanned the tattoo on your cheek. You've had quite the illustrious career.
Well, it's just right there, yeah. Yes, sir. Sorry, I can't salute you.
Yes, well, I should say that there are many here among us who don't take kindly to people of your repute wearing the uniform, any part of it. So maybe we should confiscate those epaulets you've got.
Oh, man.
As Imperial property.
I made them myself. Or had them made. I'm not a sewer. They're black just to represent the morning of the life I didn't get to have.
I see. What were you doing on Gardavillas?
Oh. Just stopping over, doing a little bit of shopping, a little bit of this, that, stretching our legs. I grew up in a water world. And the amazing thing about those is it was basically like being inside a ship all the time. I was 22 before I actually walked on dry land. I made it through the entire academy, and we were stuck inside like a space station the whole time. So really, anytime I can get planet side and just like grass, man, it's great.
You seem nervous. Are you nervous?
No.
Who did you meet with at the Tanous Cafe this morning?
I went with my crewmate Gigi.
And, we know. Yes, we know.
Oh, okay. Well, then, Had a latte.
And who did you meet with?
Well, we didn't actually meet with anybody. There was this couple that wanted our table, and we were just finishing up and paying our check. That was about it.
Ah, I see. And he taps the data pad, and a small little holographic image appears on the table between you of you, Gigi, and the two contacts sitting at the table together, eating and drinking.
Busted.
The meal was happened in that time when you they wanted your table and you wanted to go. I see.
Exactly.
Are you or have you ever been a member of the Ine Gavar?
No.
Are you or have you ever been a member of the News Freedom League?
No.
And yet you had brunch? Is it brunch? With two known members of the Ine Gavar this morning? You are aware the Ine Gavar is a terrorist organization, Mr. Damar.
Now, this is something that's like only on that planet, right?
The Ine Gavar is... The Ine Gavar
more
is
widespread.
it's more widespread, and it's actually even, for better or for worse, become kind of shorthand for a number of similar organizations across many different worlds.
It's almost like Al-Qaeda. It's
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I didn't realize it was that big.
But, except that there are different factions within the Ine Gavar. There are some that are violent.
Yeah, there's
but there are also
some.
that are
Actually, yeah,
peaceful.
it's more like the IRA, maybe. It's like
The IRA is a good comparison.
something. Yeah.
Those guys are Ine Gavar?
I'm surprised you don't know. A man of your experience surely
What
would.
experience? I was never a freaking terrorist.
I mean, I would just say a man with your interaction with the criminal justice system surely would know that it's a high crime to sell unsanctioned arms on an imperial world, and to a treasonous organization at that.
Well, I do know that. I also gave him my table at a cafe. Do you think a latte's a weapon, sir?
He stands up from the table and he walks back to the door and he knocks on the door 3 times, and then the wheel spins and the Marine steps in and he hands him a bag, and he walks back and he props the bag on the table and he opens it up and it's full of the data cores that you hid on the ship.
Oh no.
We also found a very we'll get to this in a minute, but we also found a very interesting cutlass aboard your vessel. In your quarters, I believe. It bears imagery connected to known crime lord Darius Cern. Care to explain?
Yeah, I mean, it's a ship's cutlass. It's got the aces and eights on it. It's a dead man's hand. A lot of people use it.
So you have no connection with Darius Cern.
Oh, I know Darius.
Know him. What does that mean?
I mean, we're like buddies. We're like Facebook friends, really.
Facebook.
Friendster.
Facebook.
Facebook. We're Facebook.
And then the officer leans in. He kind of like leans across the bag of data cores, and he says, "Come on, Mr. Damar. You can tell us what's been going on. You have.
I was in
before, after
prison
all."
for 8 years, and you want me to pretend that I never met a criminal? Really? Really?
Well,
Really?
I suppose you're right. I just thought maybe perhaps you might be willing to play ball, because you have before, after all. Back at the academy, you were quite happy to roll right over on your fellow thieves, weren't you?
Yeah, but look where that got me.
Look where that got you indeed.
Right there on my face. So, maybe, just maybe, if the Imperial Navy had not taught me a valuable lesson, I'd be willing to play ball.
And from there, we go to a different room sometime after that. And Gigi, you find yourself in a very similar situation, and it's been a long, long time. So what's going through your head? How you doing in here?
This is ridiculous. So wait, the chain is on the table, right? The chain is sort of...
It's anchored to the floor. It's through a loop in the table.
Okay, she is somehow like thrown her leg over the table. So she's sort of sitting on the table with her hands between her legs, and she's just investigating like the lock, like seeing if there's any way she can get it loose. Like she's like, gotta come out of here the whole time. Gotta get out of here. Ridiculous.
Okay. Well, eventually, door opens, same officer, same woman enter. The officer sits down.
You got the wrong woman.
I'm sure you would say that. Would you care to sit down? That won't break. I can assure you it's not going to be picked.
She swings her leg back over and sits down in the chair and faces them.
Kershaw, Georgina, a.k.a. Gigi, UPP AA88C7. Can you tell us who your employer is, Ms.
Who's
Kershaw?
asking?
The Imperial Navy.
Okay. Who my employer is? I work for me, myself, and I. I don't report to nobody.
I see. So what exactly were you doing at the Tanous Cafe this morning?
If you must know, I was meeting with my ex. There was some things he had to give back to me.
What kinds of things?
Various underwear and personal items. Do you need to know all this as well?
Various underwear.
That does sound personal. Are you or have you ever been a member of the Ine Gavar?
Who's that? I don't know them, trust me.
Are you or have you ever been a member of the Tanous Freedom League?
Is that a cult?
No, it's a separatist organization on the world you just fled.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you this. I know a lot of people, I've done a lot of things. When you've been around a lot, you've been hit by a couple buses, you may think you know things. But this organization you're talking about, off my radar, I have no clue.
Well, you do know some things, don't you? You know, for instance, something about... Well, you might know how many Selfinians you displaced when you landed your cult on their ancestral homeland, do you not?
Did you say cult? There was no cult. It's called a commune living. Commune living. Okay? It's helping the planet do better than it's already doing. I did not see them. They were an invisible species. How was I supposed to know I was kicking them off their land? They didn't tell me until they figured out how to make themselves visible. And then, of course, I left. All right? I tried. I mean, I'm trying out here. You got the wrong person. Okay?
What? I don't understand. What do you think it is we have the wrong person for?
I don't know. There's obviously a reason you dragged me and my cohorts off our luxurious vehicle into your whatever to question us. We were just doing what people do when they have extra time and extra money and a good ship. It's a good ship.
So the commune living has been profitable for you then?
It was. I mean, it did me right for as long as I needed it to. But, once I realized that I had a greater calling, I left to do that. And oftentimes the universe tells you what it wants you to do, and you're supposed to listen. And I listen. Who's that in the corner over there?
Don't worry about her. When's the last time you spoke to your sister Lucy?
What do you know about Lucy?
When's the last time you spoke to her?
I don't know. It's been like 7 years, something like that.
Wow, long time. Why so long?
Look, no family, not even yours. Who are you, first of all, to question my family and what things go on in my family? Everyone has their problems. We were estranged. But blood is thicker than water. And if someone out there hurt my sister, and she needs me, I'm gonna find her. If you hurt my sister, you're gonna pay for it. Trust me. And you two over in the corner, stop looking at me like that. I don't like your attitude. Yours either.
He reaches into a pack next to him and he pulls out a pipe wrench and lays it on the table between you.
Gigi's gonna grab for it. To grab it.
You grab for it and the chains.
Yes.
He's placed it just outside the reach of the chains.
How did you get that?
Oh, make no mistake, your ship is forfeit and all of its contents.
No. You can't do that. That's against the law. You don't get to take people's stuff. People's stuff is important to them, and they worked hard for it. You can't take our stuff.
Has your sister Lucy ever been a member of the Ine Gavar? Are you aware that Lucy was seen meeting with known members of the Ine Gavar in the world of New Rama and the Deneb sector?
No, I know you're wrong. Lucy would never do any of that stuff. She would never do any of that stuff. You're wrong.
Has your family always expressed separatist leanings?
No. Lucy was a law enforcement officer. She was a woman of the law. She followed the rules, except for, look, okay. It was late one night. She was watching infomercials, you know. Dog the Bounty Hunter infomercial came on. He was selling his own line of hair extensions. And she realized that that's something that she could do. Not sell hair extensions, but be a bounty hunter. But it was always on the right side of the law, not the wrong side. She was playing for our team to do good. That was Lucy. Don't you understand? And the fact that she's missing, you should be going out there and finding her. Somebody knows where she is. And you're questioning me, and you have my pipe wrench, and you're saying you're taking my ship. Where are my cohorts? I'm thirsty. Do you have any Kool-Aid?
And he takes the pipe wrench and he puts it back into the pack next to him. Tell me, team is an interesting, yes, our team, an interesting way of putting it. Have you or any members of your family ever had any contact with anyone from the Jordani consulate?
Oh, man.
What are you going to do to me if I say I don't know? I'll tell you my father wrote a really popular book. Maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. All I know is, number one, I don't like your attitude, first of all. I don't like your attitude. Number two, my family has always tried to do the right thing. All three of me and my two sisters, we all did. Where we ended up was circumstances. Circumstances make you do weird things. You try being hit by a bus 3 times and see what happens to you. See what happens.
And from there, we go to a very similar room. And Philo, you have been here for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
What's going on in your head?
I think he's sort of torn because I think he is really, there's a sort of homecoming feeling to being on board an Imperial Navy ship again, which is really like all he ever wanted, always expected of him was to be in the Imperial Navy. So it's really nice to be on board a naval vessel again, but it's also sort of a reminder of his failure. So he's like kind of torn between just sort of nostalgia and bitterness, I think, right now. And he's also very nervous because he's like not sure. He thinks that they have him dead to rights, and if they want to do us in, like they can do it. So,
well, at that moment, the door swings open. Marine pulls the bulkhead door back, and the same officer and the same woman come in. Woman sits in the corner. Officer sits down across from you. Speaker, Philo, UPP 466BFA. Notice there are quite a few books on your ship, Mr. Speaker. Ancient, antique books. You a reader?
Yes, sir. Yes, quite an avid reader. Got to pass the time during the jump somehow.
Any recommendations?
Well, I'm rather a fan of Wordsworth at the moment. Been reading a lot about the old lake country on ancient Earth.
I see. Kind of unusual for a man of your career to keep antique books with him. You don't travel lightly, do you, Mr. Speaker?
No, well, I have a quota of books that I have to keep. I try to not... they get heavy, so I try not to take too many, but they give me comfort in the long dark.
You ever read anything about the history of the Villis sector?
Yes, a little bit, yes. The Villis sector is quite an interesting history from an imperial government perspective.
Are you or have you ever been a member of the Ine Gavar?
Ine Gavar? At long last, sir, have you no decency? I am well aware that membership in the Ine Gavar is proscribed by imperial law. I would never join such an organization. No.
Are you or have you ever been a member of the Ternus Freedom League?
Absolutely not, no. I have no political position on the independence of Gardavilis or not. It's not none of my business.
Out of curiosity, how did your parents react when you told them you had killed 5 Imperial Navy personnel?
And this cuts him right to the quick. And he just kind of he doesn't want to let on, but it's just this really hurts him. He just kind of sits back. It's an Atlantic class cruiser.
That's correct.
Impressive. I've never been on one. Could I trouble you for some tea? Perhaps I've been in here quite a long time.
Absolutely. In due time. Are you currently in contact with the Admiral? I mean your mother, of course.
No, not for some time. No.
When you did kill 5 naval personnel, did you explain the depth of your incompetence to them, or did you blame someone else to save face?
No. I was found guilty of negligence, and I took the punishment that deserved.
Have you had any contact with Captain Voorhees recently?
Captain Voorhees?
Captain. He made captain. Or she made
No.
captain, excuse me.
Yes, no, I was not aware. We wouldn't really have any reason to stay in touch, honestly. But do pass on my congratulations if you speak to her.
It's really a wonder you haven't killed anyone else now that you're flinging yourself around out here in the marches. Or have you killed anyone else, Mr. Speaker?
No. I did kill a rather frightening creature on the planet, on Gardavilis, just before we left.
Oh, yes, I see from your shoulder, it seems quite painful.
Well, it's worse than it's not as bad as it looks.
Do you consider yourself a murderer, Philo?
And he's like, No, honestly, I do not. I am deeply sorry that I was not able to fulfill my duties as an Imperial officer as was expected of me. But I do not consider myself a murderer, no.
Well, isn't that nice for you? And we'll find out what happens next after this break for some messages from our sponsors.
God. That guy's a dick.
I know, I don't like this guy.
Okay, welcome back. So, the 4 of you each sit in your individual rooms alone after your interviews for what feels like, hours. You're hungry. No one brings you water. No one brings you that tea. You're just sitting there, just alone with your thoughts. And eventually, doors swing open. Marines come in and grab you, cuff you, roughly drag you down the hallway, and eventually they shove you into a room together. One large holding cell, and they uncuff you all. They lock the door. They lock the cell door, and then they leave the room.
This is awesome.
Are you guys
this is
okay?
just like Expanse. This is great.
See, Philo was smart. He put on a vac suit. My bladder is on critical mass. He can pee in his vac suit.
I know. What do you think I've been doing this last 3 hours? I've just been mixturating at will. Did they ask you about the Inega bar?
Yeah, they asked a lot of stuff, actually.
Yeah, it did.
It got rather personal. Mine.
Which I'm not affiliated with. And I want to reiterate that. And I want to reiterate, and she turns towards the door, just looking up, that we have done nothing wrong. Thank you, Gigi.
Yes, we're all innocent.
And if you keep holding us here, you're the ones who are going to be breaking the law. Fuckers.
All right, wait a minute.
Matthew,
Wait, okay,
could I make an advocate check to see, to quote, what law I could possibly say they're breaking? I know they're not, but to lawyer stretch it.
Any possible.
Give me an advocate check.
For failing to let me use the bathroom.
Oh, no.
Okay, so 8 plus advocate 1, education 1, so 10.
Okay. If you were your own client, Puffer, you would advise them not to say a single word ever.
Yeah.
Because they have you dead to rights.
Yeah.
Shit.
Could we... Artemis turns toward Puffer. Could we have just said nothing?
Probably, but, well...
That would have been
They have their
wise,
ways.
I don't know if there's a Fifth Amendment. I don't know if there's a...
True.
Yeah, true. Sit there in
I
silence.
was thinking of the radio.
I don't know if there is like an Imperial Fifth Amendment. I don't know if we would have that option.
Do we have Miranda rights? Like, they didn't tell us anything.
Yeah, no one...
Check out our lawyers.
Well, I guess we don't really in America anymore either.
Case thrown out. They didn't read me my Miranda rights. Oh, well, look at that.
I wonder if we have some allies we can, like, call up or something here. Maybe.
Yeah, when do we get our phone call?
I don't think we do.
Okay, wait a second here. This is the moment where all of us have to have a come to Jesus. Truth to truth. Facing each other here. Have any of you had any affiliations with anybody they mentioned in those rooms? Let's be truthful here right now. Anybody? Anything?
And
Nothing?
I'm eyeing Puffer because like he's the one guy with a serious criminal record.
Yeah, Artemis is also looking at Puffer.
Right here.
We all turn and look at Puffer.
You know what I did? I had no affiliation with the terrorist organizations they talked about. They did talk about some people that I used to know back in the day. But that's parsecs and parsecs and parsecs away.
Well, listen, also, Ineg bar membership is something that the Imperium can throw around to intimidate people into doing whatever they want. It's something that's easy to fabricate if that's what they wanted to do, so I don't think, honestly, that it matters whether we belong to the Ineg bar or not. And like, if they want to say that we did, as far as they're concerned, we did.
Pretty much.
Well, what are they going to do with us?
Whatever they want.
Force us to do something for them. That's how it works. They get something on you, whether it's the truth or a lie, and then you do something for them. They promise that they'll just expunge everything that they had on you, and whether they actually fulfill that promise is...
They won't.
They won't.
They won't.
We're fucked.
Just trust me.
We are.
Yeah.
We are. Artemis. They've got us
Also,
over the proverbial barrel.
I have a lot of shit on that ship.
Two important things.
Like what? What have you got?
Personal items.
Personal items.
Stuff.
You know
I've got stuff on there too. But
Yeah, I obviously I basically live on that ship. I don't.
I feel like there's something we're missing here. You know what?
Yeah, we're
Gigi's like
missing our ship.
pacing.
we're missing. I'm definitely missing our
Missing your
ship
ship. We're
Yeah.
at the
missing.
moment.
It's in the ship.
There's something we're missing here. There's a key, crucial part of this puzzle that we're not privy to. We're
they could do this because they're bored. They could do this for any reason they want. There doesn't have to be a puzzle.
No, but they
Artemis-
do want something, and I'm certain
Artemis-
that the other boot is about to drop any minute now.
Artemis
Did
goes
anybody know
over
anything
and
about that woman? Did anybody have like this observer?
wait.
Like a teacher's
You had
assistant?
her too. You had her in your room too.
What the hell was up with her?
I don't know, but it's funny. Thinking back, I can't think what she looked like.
Me neither. What did she?
Does she
do
look-
we remember what she looks like?
No, no. Like
Yeah,
if you
she
sat
looks-
me down in front of a sketch artist, I couldn't describe her. It's the
Yeah,
funniest thing.
Was she? She
Did
did
she
have.
have 6 boobs?
No, I would have called that. I think
that.
No.
that is the opposite of nondescript. That would be very descriptive.
She wasn't a trillion.
No, this is a total recall. Sorry, Artemis, you were going to say something? Did we interrupt you?
Oh no, I was gonna do something, and then
Oh.
Artemis walks over and just high kicks the door with her heavy boot. Boom! And then she turns around and high kicks the door with her left foot. Boom! Who is out there who can talk to us?
Yeah.
No response.
No response.
What?
Typical.
All right.
But
We're
then,
smart people.
all of a sudden, the bulkhead door swings open and a dozen Marines flood into the room. And they open the
All
cell
right.
door and they grab you and they start dragging you down the corridor again.
Come on with this.
And you can sense you are like in the belly of the ship. Like it's been so many twists and turns and so much time. You have no idea where you are. And after some time, you get to a door and one of the Marines spins the wheel, unseals it, and they shove you in. And you find yourself standing in a conference room. And sitting at the head of a large table is a man in an Imperial Navy uniform, short cropped hair, pristinely manicured mustache. And Puffer and Philo, your eyes instantly take in the stars on his epaulets. This is a 3-star admiral.
Oh, wow.
And he says, "Come in. Take a seat." What do you do?
I'm blown away. Instinctually, I'm just like immediately, like he snaps to attention for a second, and then he remembers himself, and he's just like, tries to act cool, like he's Zaphod Beeblebrox. And
Okay.
just takes a seat.
Is there like a thing with ice water in here?
On the table, actually, yeah, there's like a pitcher and some cups.
Oh, that's so nice.
Beeline straight for it.
He's a fish.
Yeah.
Yep, that's about right.
Also
Artemis-
sitting in the room, by the way, I should add, once again in a shadowy corner, is that same woman in civilian dress who is present for all of your interviews. And standing behind the admiral is the officer who interrogated all of you.
Do I recognize this admiral? Do I know who this is?
In fact, you definitely would. Philo definitely would. This is actually give me a social standing check. And
Social standing.
Puffer, you can do this as well.
That's an 11.
10.
This is Admiral Gage, Chief of Naval Intelligence.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Are
do you
the
all-
chairs in the room rolly chairs or are they static?
I think they're rolly chairs. Well,
Are there any
connected to the
non-rolly
table.
chairs?
Yeah, I don't think having rolly chairs on a space vessel. is
True. Are there any chairs that aren't hunkered down?
No.
All right. She goes and sits in the chair
gonna throw one at him?
furthest. No. She goes and sits in the chair furthest from him at the end of the table.
At the other head
Power
of the table.
move.
Yeah.
And Barbara's just basically going to be, after he has had his whole glass, we'll fill up any glasses for the rest of the crew.
Aw.
And then fill his up.
Once you've all sat down, the admiral turns to the officer who conducted your interviews, and he just says, "Thank you, Commander." And the officer hands him a data pad and just leaves the room without a word. And the admiral waits patiently until he goes, and then he turns to all of you.
Thank you, Commander.
No response. And the admiral looks at all of you and says, "Do you know who I am?"
Yes, sir.
No.
Yes, sir.
No.
Yes, sir, Admiral Gage.
Okay, now I do.
This is Admiral Gage. He's the chief of naval intelligence. I didn't know we rated. I'm honored.
Well, you're all in a world of trouble, aren't you? We've got you on smuggling, illegal arms trade, fomenting rebellion on an imperial world, and, oh yes, treason. Not to mention any number of interesting discoveries my people have found searching your ship. Do you have
We did-
anything to say?
We did purchase the car legally, though. I just want that on record. It's not stolen. We came
At all.
about it legitimately. That's
So naval intelligence has us on treason in being a terrorist. That's classic naval intelligence, sir. Good job.
We're looking at Puffer for explanations here because he's been through this before.
yes. I'm sorry, sir. Treason is rather a serious charge. Would you mind explaining that? It's not too much trouble.
I don't think I'm going to bother doing that because you all know what you've done.
But we don't. We honestly do not.
He puts up his hand and he says, "I'll be honest with you. I can make this all go away."
Here we are. Here's the drop. Okay, what do we have to do?
My offer is this. You undertake a mission for me, and all of those charges disappear.
What kind of mission is it? For real?
This is Ms. Banks from the foreign desk. He turns to the woman that was present for all of your interviews. Ms. Banks? And she steps forward. "Thank you, Admiral. What I'm about to tell you is highly classified. If you breathe even a whisper of this to anyone outside this room, you will be summarily executed. Have any of you heard of the worlds of Clorth and Nodra?
Have we?
Would you like to roll education?"
Yes.
I guess.
Yes. Why, yes, I would,
Yes.
Matthew. Thank you.
Oh no.
7.
7. Yeah, 7.
9.
Okay. Artemis, you have heard of these worlds. They are both client worlds of the Imperium, not full members. So they're in neighboring sectors of the unclaimed space between the Spinrad Marches, the Jordani Consulate, the Sword Worlds, and the Far Frontiers. So if you would refer to the map, and if I would refer to my map, you'll see that there's the edge of Imperial space. Yes, thank you, Seth, for great prop work. On the edge of Imperial space, the kind of spinward edge, you'll see if you. Let me pull up the map for myself, and then I'll be able to give you some actual things to look at. Because I closed it
The edge is the red,
sometime
right?
during our the west.
Okay.
So kind of in basically if you go top row of the sectors, second row down, second rectangle in,
Yep.
You'll see the kind of edge of Imperial space there, and you'll see in the hex 1118 is Gardavillas. That's the world you just left. So, spoiler alert, these worlds were created just for this adventure.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Clorth and Nodra occupy sectors 0917 or rather parsecs 0917 and 0816.
Oh.
Kind of in this no man's land between the Jodani consulate, the Sword Worlds, and the Imperial space.
Wow.
wait, so they're not even named?
Yeah, they are original inventions for this story.
Matthew made them up.
I love it.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Yes, that explains why they're not on the map, because he made them up.
So
Yes.
Matthew didn't make his own map, is what you're telling me. Matthew
I went
didn't.
off the map. Anyway,
What were the names of the worlds again? Sorry.
Clorth, Clorth, and Nodra, Nodra. And you know, Artemis, you don't know a ton, you've never been there, but you know that they're very similar worlds. They're both feudal technocracies, and they have populations of about 100,000, and both have small but growing starports. But what you mostly know, because this is probably what you've heard of, is that they have hated each other more than anything else in this uncharted space for over 200 years. And there were some early wars after their colonization, but ever since then, they've kind of settled into a centuries-long Cold War.
Cool.
Okay. So at the mention of the worlds, Artemis says, so let me guess. You're picking a side, and we're also picking a side. So whose side are you on?
There are no sides in this, Ms. Piper. There's only the Emperor. What you may not know is that both of these worlds are considering filing applications for full membership in the Imperium. And I'll be honest, it would be of vital import that both worlds join. And again, what I'm about to tell you is highly classified. Each world has valuable resources to offer, yes, and they reside at a vital reach of space between many of our rivals and enemies. But the truth is, the Emperor is considering establishing a colony in the far frontiers. And both of those worlds are key to securing that colony. Any questions? Excellent. And she nods back to the Admiral.
I have a question, if you don't mind, Your Honor, Sir Majesty, whatever.
Yes, you in the back?
Why us? Randomly, why us?
It's an excellent question. The Admiral steps in to answer that one. Have any of you ever heard the story of the Ellison? And you could roll EDU or social standing for this.
Ow.
Puffer, what is your good stat?
Intellect and education. Not this time.
Not this time.
Yeah, 7.
9.
5. That's enough. You don't know quite as much. You don't know quite as much of the others. But the Ellison is a kind of a sort of naval legend, like a ghost story, basically. And the Ellison was a long-haul convoy ship in service about 70 years ago, and 73 years ago to be precise. And it disappeared on a long-haul mission in the Spinward Marches. And in some versions of the story, it's actually in the Great Rift, and in some versions of the story, it's the Lesser Rift. It's a very adaptable myth, but the story goes that they misjumped, and they were considered lost, but there have been reports of travelers seeing the Ellison floating in space ever since. A ghost ship, just drifting out in the open space. And it's both kind of a cautionary tale and a way to scare new spacefarers about getting your astrogation, correct when you do it. And the Admiral says, yes, people have reported sightings of the Ellison all the time over the years. They've amounted to nothing, but... And he taps something on his datapad, and a holographic video kind of constitutes itself over the table. And what you're seeing is clearly something that was kind of recorded by an amateur, and it's very grainy and sometimes out of focus, almost like a cell phone video, perhaps. And Sometimes you can like see the device like in the reflection of the force field. Like you can kind of see it. But what you can make out clearly is a large, long cylindrical vessel with massive fuel tanks encircling its back half. And you can also you kind of hear the giggling and chattering of the civilians in the background. And but the ship is just kind of like sitting there in the middle of open space. And the Admiral says, This was taken by 2 people on a civilian pleasure craft last night. And he taps it again. Yeah, exactly. And the video pauses, and it zooms in to focus on the ship. This has been verified by naval intelligence to be the ISS Ellison. Unfortunately, the owner of the craft knew the legend, and he transmitted the video to members of his planetary government. The government of Clorth. And of course, he did so on an open channel, and the transmission was, of course, intercepted by spies on Nodra. And now my operatives have confirmed that both the Clorthian and Nodran governments are hiring mercenaries and putting together missions to capture the ship as we speak.
Is this the same naval intelligence that said we were terrorists?
We'll get to that, Mr. Damar. Again, I'm going to remind you that what we're sharing here is highly classified. The Ellison was no convoy vessel. The Ellison was an experimental warship, a missile boat of sorts. Its mission was highly confidential, known only to a few members of the High Command at the time. It had a weapons complement that could rival this entire battle squadron. Its mission was to remain in near constant jump, only spending long enough in normal space between jumps to refuel and, if necessary, receive orders from the High Command, if its services were needed on any world. If so ordered, the Ellison could wipe out a world in minutes after achieving orbit. This was supposed to be...
And you lost
I was going to say, good job.
Fucking ship?
Welcome to naval intelligence.
It should go without saying that I
Really?
am not nearly old enough to have been considered in the planning of the Ellison's mission.
Yeah, but you didn't find it either until now, until it was intercepted on a shitty frequency by spies. What garbage? I'm sorry, you're a lieutenant? What were you?
Captain.
Admiral.
Oh, sorry.
What's
a different
in this
time.
for us? You're sending us on a mission against mercenaries for a warship. You saw the ship we had, right? Of course you did. You ripped it apart. We don't have the manpower, the gunpowder, the cash on hand to deal with a mission like this. Expunging our bullshit record that you just wrote up is one thing, but supplying us is another.
I would say, speaking of manpower, firepower, money power,
You're going to give us supplies to do this?
You should know, Ms. Banks, and again, the woman steps forward. The situation is this. If either Clorth or Nodra gets control of the Ellison, they will likely discover its weapons complement. And we have very good reason to believe that should their militaries, should they discover this, their might would be increased by such a factor that they would not hesitate to destroy the other, which we obviously cannot allow to happen. And the Admiral nods very gravely. At the same time, the Imperium cannot be seen to interfere. Negotiations with both worlds are at a delicate point. Any attempt to interfere in a Clorthian or Nodran mission would be reason enough to abandon the tables.
but terrorists is okay.
Let's say a small, ragtag, independent far trader operating on the fringes of society.
I prefer that.
And the Admiral is kind of staring at the image of the ship just floating adrift in space. And then he turns to you. And he looks you each in the eyes in turn. He says, "Your mission is simple. Locate the derelict ship, commandeer it, and deliver it to a location to be determined where the Navy will accept it and decommission it. If the ship is not salvageable, you are ordered to scuttle it and its weapons complement in as remote a location of space as possible. You ask what's in it for you.
Yes.
Well, I can, yes, make all of these charges go away. Seems like that might not be enough. So, perhaps I can sweeten the pot if you're successful. Perhaps we might discover some clerical errors in our system. For example, that Lieutenant Commander Speaker and Commander Maher here have been undertaking some deep cover work in service of the Imperium in our military prison system on the frontier worlds, and we can restore your commissions.
Wow, it's like The Departed.
Or for you, Miss Piper, perhaps you would benefit from a clean slate and a fresh start and your record wiped clean entirely. But also, perhaps your friend the Professor would also benefit from such a service. And for you, Miss Kershaw, I'm sure you're curious as to the current whereabouts of your sister, Lucy. Well, that's highly classified as well, but information like that slips out every day, doesn't it? Minor leaks like that are a fact of life.
But you're saying you might know something?
We might, yes. And of course, I should say you'll be compensated for your time. Your debt to Mr. Ames, was it? It's been paid already by the Imperial Navy, and perhaps the Navy would be willing to transfer ownership of this vessel to you all.
Yeah.
So the choice is yours. I can turn you over to the regional magistrate.
Okay.
Or you can embark immediately.
Well, but before we embark, I have a few questions, Admiral.
Yes.
Tonnage of the ship.
The Ellison?
Yeah, but can we get the stats on the ship? And also, if we could also have a few tons of spare parts, because I don't know the condition when it's there. So if we could maybe get some spare parts for it, just that way we could fly it. Possibly some suits just to get through it, because we don't know if it has atmosphere. We don't know the conditions on that thing. But we would require specs on the ship if we were to complete the mission.
The Navy will supply you with, yes, vac suits, as well as electronics kits and replacement parts to repair the jump drive, astrogation systems, and, if necessary, various other electronics, avionics aboard the ship. Yeah. Mind you, specs on this ship are very hard to come by, even for naval intelligence. The original plan was for this to have a network of these ships operating throughout charted space. After the Ellison was lost, it was considered too costly, and other plans were made. But we have precious little information, but we will supply you with any information you need. It is an 800-ton hull, as you can see from the video.
Oh.
I just didn't have a sense of scale. I mean, it's just it's in space.
Capital ship.
Yeah.
Crew complement of 43.
Okay. The weaponry aboard, is there anything we need to be aware of? Biologicals, high radiations?
I don't know.
Anything that could put us in danger by stepping foot on it.
It had a full nuclear complement, we know that. Ship-to-ship defenses, plasma turrets.
AI?
No AI.
Okay.
I have one last question for you, Admiral.
Yes.
What happens if we fail?
I'm sorry, I don't understand the question.
Point taken.
Philo is definitely enticed by this. This is a promise that sounds too good to be true at this point. To restore his career and his rank is It feels like justice.
Yeah.
But he's also really skeptical. And he's also horrified at everyone's behavior towards this vice admiral, despite like all of his experiences with the Navy. He's horrified that people would be like talking back to this, like a 3-star admiral, like at this point. So he says like, excuse me, sir, I'm grateful for the offer. Certainly you've done your research and you know something, you know what would make us heal at your call. I understand that you would probably be reluctant to put any of this in writing, but you might also understand my reluctance to trust the verbal promises of the Imperial Navy after what we've been through.
What kind of assurances can I offer you?
A good faith gesture of 47 million credits would be a nice start.
I paid off your debt to a crime lord.
Oh, right. Yes, that's good enough.
He does. All right. He will offer to. He will put it in writing and seal it. He does not allow you to take any kind of copy, but he will.
Okay. And
that sort of thing.
I owe you.
Could our attorney take a look at that before you put the seal on it?
Does it look like I'm negotiating?
No, sir. No, sir. Apologies.
What do you think?
What is the time frame? Expected time frame?
You leave immediately. The ship is drifting 2 parsecs from here. But Clorth and Nodra should be able to muster a mission, each of a mission of their own within the same time frame. So we're working against the clock here.
So is it an empty sector adjacent, or an empty parsec adjacent to Cloth and Nodra? Is that where it is?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So sorry, sir, I don't want to waste any of your valuable time, but I do have some questions about the planets, the systems in question,
Yes.
Cloth and Nodra. What can you tell us of their tech level, law level, industry, history, any government systems? Well, you mentioned feudal technocracy. Any information on the systems in question would be welcome.
Yeah, he can provide you with a full, with kind of full dossiers on both systems. You'd also have this information like on the ship's computers too. Like you could be.
Okay.
I'm just saying because they're not showing up on our maps. So.
I know, and I will fill out. I'll fill out the profile for you and send you their codes.
These ghost planets are really freaking me out here. They're not showing up on our scopes.
Is the Ellison located anywhere near a gas giant or comet where we could get hydrogen?
Good question.
Fuel.
Good question. Or, good question.
If the gas tank's empty, I want to know where we can get some gas for.
Yeah, you'll have to refuel the ship. The other thing is the Ellison was designed to go several jumps without refueling if necessary. So it's possible there's still fuel on board. But yes, there is a gas giant in the system that you could use to refuel if necessary.
Okay.
Cool.
Spectacular. If we have to scuttle, we need to know what you would want us to retrieve.
Nothing.
Okay.
No logs or system cores or anything.
I'll be honest with you all. The Imperium would rather this go away. If it is necessary to scuttle the ship, leave no trace.
Got it.
Some record of its destruction would be useful. Recording from your logs, perhaps.
Okay.
Okay.
Fly it right into a gas giant.
What time is it?
You've been awake for a long time. So basically, if you woke up this morning to be early this morning to bury the crates out in the forest and begin the mission, it's now like midnight.
Yeah, this is a long day.
It's been a long day.
It's been a very busy day. Like I was bitten by a space lion.
I'm sorry to
chased.
say, if you're accepting the mission, you must leave immediately.
Okay.
You'll have a week in the jump to rest and prepare, of course.
All right. Yeah.
Right.
Love the taste of boots in the morning. Let's go.
So you accept the mission?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I accept.
Yeah.
He goes, the Imperium thanks you for your service. And he just leaves the room.
All right. And I do like stand up and stand at attention and salute.
And
I do not.
he salutes you back. He returns the salute. Okay. Well, the Marines will escort you back to your ship. You'll find that it's been worked over, right? But it looks like they put everything back. Like it's in the same state of disarray.
I had 3 pudding cups. There still better be 3 pudding cups.
Yeah. I check the fridge immediately for Coke of Cola.
Stop.
It's just Blepsy.
I think there's even more. Oh fuck! They took another Coke of Cola and changed it for Blepsy. What the fuck?
That's the Imperium, man.
Yeah. Slamming your fist on the counter.
Oh, I should say the medical staff on board the cruiser is happy to provide medical care for your shoulder.
Oh, sweet. Awesome.
So you can I'll hand wave healing yourself back up to
That's
full.
great. Man, yeah, nothing like medical care aboard an Imperial capital ship. Like, this is like, yeah, gotta like, this gotta be like a huge sigh of relief to just really get this taken care of. So, yeah, makes me very happy.
The ATV is still in the cargo hold, by the way.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
That Steve Miller CD better still be in the CD player. I'm gonna check that first
Trying to
thing.
get it out. Drove across the entire desert with that plan.
You really did. Just the same song over and over and over. Okay. So yeah, the Marines escort you back to the airlock, and you can get back on your ship. And what do?
I coordinate that jump. I get it ready to go. I want to get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, you seal off the airlock, and
I'm also going to say we need to do a full scan for bugs, trackers, and
Yeah. Whatever.
Smart.
Yeah, for sure.
deep scan.
all right. Do you want to do that
But let's
before you leave, or you want to do that? In the
Well, we could do, we have
Let's
a week
cut
to
ourselves
do that.
off from the universe.
Yeah.
Then do it.
and then do
But
it.
right now,
And do
let's
it.
Let's get that. Yeah, we definitely want to get the hell out of here.
Okay.
It's so big, we actually have to get the jump distance from the damn
from the ship
From the ship.
Yeah.
from the Superstar Destroyer. Like,
Yeah, seriously.
can you guys
That's
back up
no
and make it a lot
moon.
easier for us?
Now that you get, when you detach, you get a look, and it's like, I mean, there's like a couple dozen ships. Like, this is like, they're not kidding around. Like, this is this is like a full battle squadron, a Baron.
Should have asked him for one of those plasma rifles. Always wanted one of those.
Damn. Always.
So they don't want. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the coordinates they provided you are 2 parsecs from here, which your ship can do in a single jump. So I assume Puffer, you head down to the engine room and spin up the engines. Philo, you sit down at the controls and begin to you seal off the engine. You seal off the airlock, and then you your armor tracks, and then you fly away.
In the pipe, 5 by 5.
All right. So, Artemis, give me an astrogation check.
Philo, by the way,
Uh huh.
don't believe a damn thing they tell you for a deal. Just believe.
That's a 10 for astrogation.
Okay. You crush it, and then task chain wise, I believe that gives you a +3. Seth, am I right? I'm flipping to my pages right now.
+1 or 2. I don't remember the test change.
It was an easy check. She crushed it.
Oh, it's easy. Yeah. She's got it. It's at least a +2. Drive.
Yeah, +2.
That's me starting my machine.
Okay, so that gives me a total +4 and 6, 7 +4, 11.
Okay. Yep. So you, Artemis, you calculate the jump, and then Puffer, you want to walk us through the jump process?
Okay.
I interrupted you last time.
Yeah.
I know. You have to like shut the power off to all non-critical systems. The lights dim, and then it just rips a hole in the fabric of reality and just sucks us in.
Yeah, like a bubble surrounds the ship, and then you're just like.
Yeah, then shutters close off all of the windows, like slide down, because the jump bubble actually emits a light that can cause hallucinations or illness or whatnot.
Right.
And if you read Mark Miller's Age of the Imperium, he talks about it. Yes, I even read the novels. Where astrogators will actually have to look at the wall of the jump bubble to like get used to it. So yeah, it shuts all the shutters, and then like, and then we are in a pocket dimension the size of the ship for a whole week. And sometimes people say weird transmissions come over the radio. Or there might be a knocking on the outside of the shutters.
Don't open them.
That could just be old spacer stories.
So what do you do with the week?
First, I'm going to sleep for like 9 hours.
Yeah, for real.
No, I want to start checking the ship, like slowly, meticulously going over the ship.
So do you want to roll mechanic for that? Like if you're going through, like if you're going part by part, or do you want to do me an engineering check, or do you just want to use like do an electronics check?
Yeah, I could do electronics, maybe like a sensors check, or like I could use streetwise, just knowing the basic places, or mechanic. Any of them would work. If I could use streetwise, that'd be the best. But otherwise, whatever. I mean, I'm going to be checking the insides of light bulbs.
I would say let's do mechanic, because I imagine you're like kind of opening up the walls, like looking in conduit by conduit. Like
I can help too with that.
Yeah, you want to do that too.
Isn't Gigi Gigi, aren't you a mechanic?
Yeah,
I am. I don't have mechanic for some reason. Oh no, I did get mechanic. That's what I chose when we did the thing. I do have it.
We were going to work on that ATV together during this week, but now we're off on a covert mission.
Yay! So can I help?
Yeah. So
Yes, please.
Oh, goody, goody.
So yeah, you roll
Ship
first,
is
and
really
then we'll.
See, 6, so I didn't help at all.
Yeah, the ship is big. The departure is what, a 200-ton hull?
200 ton, yeah. I think so.
I think so.
I rolled a 10.
Okay. So that's a plus. That's going to be a +1.
It's me, it's 7.
It's going to be a -1, so they even out.
Okay.
Ooh.
I got an 11.
Okay.
Wow. Nice.
Okay, so Seth or Puffer just sits down, starts at the engine room, and just systematically works his way through each of the rooms, each of the corridors, pulls off like the panels on the wall. Like I imagine you're both like scanning with a device to detect electronic interference, but also like literally physically combing through, like you're cutting open the wire, like the cabling, and just like inspecting each of the bundled wires.
This
Probably
sounds
using
like
a special light because they're little nano bugs that'll crawl around.
This is like Gene Hackman in the conversation.
Exactly.
It's
yeah.
like so paranoid. We're just like combing over part of the ship.
I was just talking about that movie. I love that movie.
Such a good movie.
Yeah.
Probably by the time I give it a clean bill of health and the jump's done. Like, oh.
Right.
I would say it's probably going to take you the bulk of the week to do that. But at the end of it, you find nothing. Does someone also want to do you want to check the ship's computers to make sure, to see if they put a virus to do the same, do something similar, try to convert the computers to do anything like that?
I picture him, he's just sitting down in the galley, like, okay, we don't find anything. You check the computer, son of a bitch! Motherfucker!
Artemis could check the computers. I have a 2 in electronics.
Oh.
Okay.
Awesome.
Electronics what?
I didn't put anything in,
You got it?
but I assume it would have been computers
Okay.
because she worked with
We'll say it is.
Let's say it's computers.
This was from her collegiate days. This was so long ago. I don't even remember. I think it was
back at Space Wreckers.
Yeah, back at Space Wreckers.
Yeah, Space Wreckers has a great electronics (computer) program.
That's a 8.
Okay. Yeah, you don't find anything.
Well, all right. I did my best. She looks at it for 4 days and she gets really burnt out on looking at the computer. And she's like, yeah, I think it's fine.
So,
just out of curiosity, what did I download onto my armor?
Oh, yeah. Good question.
it is a list of names.
Oh.
Are our names on it?
No.
No.
Just showing him that. See, we're not on the list.
Yeah.
Never on the list, man.
This illicit list we stole, we're not on it. See? We're innocent.
Hey.
Oh, wait.
What was that woman's name? The one that looked at. All I know is she didn't have 6 boobs.
Yeah, the one.
What was her name?
She was in,
the regular woman.
yeah, she worked in foreign,
She was from the foreign desk.
the
Right.
foreign desk.
What was her name?
Thanks.
Banks.
Thanks. No, 2 boobs.
Banks for nothing.
It's just the standard.
Just put that in that list. Like, yeah, we'll leak this when we get out.
Two boobs.
Old
Okay,
hubris.
You make it sound like it's an insult.
I know. It's like I'm not casting aspersions. I mean, you know. Philo is going to, apart from helping Puffer, he's going to spend all of his time studying up on any lore about this ship and everything that the Admiral gave us about these 2 systems.
Yes. And I'll provide that information for you in a later episode.
Okay.
Do you guys talk at all about your plan? Like, what's if you say you encounter the ship, what are you going to do?
While we're on the ship for the week, you mean? Just in general?
Oh, yeah,
No,
I'm pretty sure this is like regular conversation while I'm stripping wires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying,
we're
like,
gonna
if you
board it,
encounter the
right?
Ellison, like, what is it? What are you just going to kind of like fly at it? Or, I mean, do you have a plan of
We
any
should
kind?
scan it and then board it, right?
Yeah, we should probably figure that out before we get there.
Okay, so depending on what we find, it might be safer the first time to actually not dock and just pull up next to it and go out with vac suits because
Spacewalk.
What do you mean,
Spacewalk
pull
to
up
it.
next to it? Ask if they have some great coupons. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, no, if there is some sort of horrible contaminant on board or tribbles or something, we probably don't want to interbreed our air with it. So we might want to just spacewalk over, check it out, and if it's good, we can have Philo just dock us. But
Also-
we probably want to spacewalk first.
Yeah.
Also, we have to be prepared if there are simply mercenaries there before us. It's taking us a week to get out there, and that radio transmission already went out. I wouldn't be surprised if there's tons of scavengers all around the ship.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that
there
thing's
could
been
be,
on
like,
YouTube.
Fortune hunters of all stripes could be swarming that thing. Also, we have our ship is equipped with relatively shitty sensor package, and yeah, we're not very well equipped for any of this. So, God, yeah, I guess we just kind of have to play it by ear, based on what we find. But yeah, I mean, I guess at least visual reconnaissance. I agree with the spacewalk idea, just to get close to it, because I don't even want to dock with this ship unless we have as full an idea as we can get of what we're going to experience.
Yeah, just check it for contaminants, and if it are, we don't want to dock with it. We can get whatever contaminants in our spacesuit and clean that before we get aboard the ship. Or little lizards, I don't know. But
Xenomorphs,
For example. Okay.
elevated dolphins. It could be packed with elevated dolphins.
Good dolphins would be awesome.
Yeah, it would be great. That was okay, let's dock right now. Let's have a giant elevated dolphin party on board this ghost ship.
That's
All right.
something I didn't really think about. actually.
No, see, you never think about it until the last minute. That's why. It's like,
Elevated dolphins? You never think
elevated
about that?
dolphins. Fingers crossed, by the way, that is what we encounter.
Yeah. You guys look over and Gigi's sort of like sitting on like the floor of the bridge, but she's eating like a pudding cup.
Oh, wait a minute. that's Puffers. Last one. What are you saying?
Motherfucker.
Even the Navy left that alone.
Gigi.
You are a terrorist.
Are you okay? You never eat pudding cups. Gigi's only eat pudding cups when they are extremely stressed out.
I am stressed out. You know, I'm the youngest one here. But I try to act like I can keep up with you guys, but I feel like I'm just outmanned a little bit. You know what I mean? I don't know what we're gonna see when we pull up next to Space Limo with guns.
I don't know either.
You don't, Huffer?
No.
This is why we broke up. You know what? We broke up because of this and because your mother didn't
Because
like the fact that I didn't know how
about the
to
ghost
swim.
ship.
You two dated?
I don't want to talk
What
about
happens
it.
in the jump?
What happens in the jump?
Right. Okay. All right.
I feel like we're being flung out into space here. Blind.
We are.
We are. You literally say this every time we jump. We are.
And then a
Listen.
tone starts to sound.
Oh.
Oh.
The jump bubble is about to dissolve.
Oh boy.
And we're about to, all right, so who's where?
Who's on sensors? That's like the very first thing someone
Okay.
needs to do.
Yeah.
Okay. What would that be? Mechanic? No.
It's electronic sensors.
I
If
could
you have-
do that.
Okay.
If you have electronics at levels, if you don't have electronic sensors, but you have electronics at level 0, you can just roll it at level 0.
Okay. Okay.
So,
I'll take the comm.
You want to be on
and
comms?
yeah, sensors
Yeah.
and comms are like the first two things. I'll get down to engineering and
Okay.
follow
And,
you.
and
Move your dinosaurs off the wheel.
curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal. And I'm gonna. Philo is going to situate himself in the pilot seat, the old by the controls. Yeah.
All right. So once you're all situated, the jump bubble dissolves, the window, the shutters open, and you are out in open space, just stars everywhere. And what do? You just start scanning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sensor suite.
Yep. Should I
Go
roll?
ahead, yeah, go ahead.
Ready? Have your wits about you, everyone. This is an area we've never been to.
11.
Great. You do a full and complete sensor sweep. You don't detect any ships.
The Ellison either?
No, nothing.
Shit.
Could you check our position? Are we in the right?
Comfort, check our coordinates. I can't. I don't see anything. I don't see anything.
You don't
I'm
see
gonna
anything.
check. Yeah, I'm gonna check the
Yeah,
astral
we'll check
bodies.
against
See.
the astrogation. Did the ship have stealth?
Yeah.
I did not.
Oh, maybe it's
I
cloaked.
Yeah.
I didn't fuck up the astrogation. I did not fuck up the astrogation.
Give me an astrogation check to check your astrogation work.
I have astrogation
Artemis
as
never
well.
fucks
I'm
up.
gonna.
Can you
I'm gonna double
check against me? Yeah.
I'll
just
double
starts-
check.
Everyone pull out their slide rules and start doing the calculations.
I only got an 8. I'm nervous.
10.
You are both
That should be
confident that Artemis's astrogation calculations were correct. You were at
No,
the coordinates the Navy gave you.
We are here. It's not.
Where is it?
They already got it. They took it. Somebody took it.
Okay. Can we check the video? Was it actually on a trajectory? I mean, maybe it's just been sailing along for 2 weeks.
All of a sudden,
A wash?
Artemis, a contact appears on your LiDAR screen, dead astern. Out of nowhere.
Somebody just pinged in.
What?
Somebody just pinged in. Stern.
I pull a bootlegger turn.
All right. You pull a bootlegger turn and you see it. It's the Ellison. It's right there. And if you do a sensor sweep, you don't even detect a jump bubble. Like there were no remnants of a jump bubble. Nothing. Nothing was there, and now it's there.
Wow. Weird.
Artemis just hits the dash, and she's just like, shitty fucking sensor. I said we needed a new light for the radar. I think the light went out again. I probably just didn't fucking see it.
You have to you have to put a piece of tape on it. It'll be fine.
Sorry. To give you this is what the ship looks like. It's like
Tape
a long cylindrical design, almost like a missile itself. And you might recognize this has a streamlined needle configuration for those of you who are ship designers. If you want someone to give me an education roll?
Yes.
Yes.
13. 13.
Okay.
12.
Also
wow.
13.
Wow.
All right.
Nice.
So those, I guess you're all shipbuilding nerds because you actually recognize this design as reminiscent of the Agrippa class destroyer design, albeit with more fuel tanks. It's got that whole back half is encircled with those large boxy fuel tanks. And again, 800-ton hull, so very big. Not nearly as big as the Atlantic class cruiser you were on, but still, it's a capital ship.
Okay.
What do you do?
That's awesome. Oh, I remember this ship. Oh, I remember this. Oh,
okay.
Oh,
we need to
What do you
scan
remember,
it,
Violet?
hail it, just visually look at it. Like, is it giving off heat? Is it got holes?
Right now, it seems to be just drifting. But yeah, you want to give us a scan, Artemis?
Yeah. Eight.
Okay. You detect no unusual radioactive activity. Nothing kind of that what I'm trying to say. Nothing of that sort. But you do detect 41 life signs aboard.
Whoa.
What?
Big number of life signs. Seems like the entire crew is aboard.
Well, we've been
frozen.
Beaten to the punch.
That was the exact number that the admiral said.
The total complement officers and crew and Marines was 42.
Okay, one person died.
He got yeeted into space.
Well, also it's been 70 years. They might be freezered.
Would
Gigi,
we be able to?
You see a light pop up on the comms. They're hailing you.
Oh.
Guys are hailing us. This is the SS Kate's Gambit hailing. Comms are open.
Civilian vessel, you were in violation of Imperial Law 4287.3. Prepare to be boarded. And we'll see you next week.
Just went through this.
We need a cloaking device. We should have asked for one.
We need to exact some better promises this time.
How do you tell the Navy that they just did this? How do you explain? Like, you can't do it again. We
Double
just
jeopardy.
did that.
Double space jeopardy.
Good night, everybody. Thank you so much.
Oh, God.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.